Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today we are going to be doing a VR. Now, these have been kind of going around. I'm behind again, but I did want to film a couple VRs because they looked super fucking fun. So the first one we're going to be doing today is a VR to Katie Flowers, which is the only 10 decks. You know, it's stressful, but you know what? It wasn't as bad picking. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Not going to lie, wasn't too bad. So, if you guys like my content, like it, share it, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Most of my viewers aren't subscribed, so please click it. Other than that, what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, as always, book a personal reading with me. You can do so on the link below. There's a discount code in there for 15% off readings and energy healings. Take advantage of that if you want. And without further ado, let's get into it here. So, in no particular order, let's talk about my top 10 decks. So, the first one is, I've talked about this before, is my universal Waite. I love the backs on these. I love these stars. I don't even mind the borders, if I'm being honest with you. I kind of like them on this deck. Normally, don't love the borders. On this deck, I don't mind them. So they are a bit glossy, but not super. Not so much. They shuffle beautifully. They're that nice, I don't know what kind of coating is on them, but they like, if I splash water on them, I can wipe them off and they're usually fine, you know? As you can see, it's beat up. It is well worn. I use this one a lot for, like, if I just need a fucking answer to something. It's always direct, doesn't pull any punches, doesn't fuck around. It's not super cheeky, so I appreciate it. I love how it reads. It's my regular, just Rider Waite, you know? But yeah, that is the Universal Waite by US Games. Definitely had to be on there because I use it all the fucking time. Okay, so that was one. Two is the Morgan Greer. Again, can you see how bowed this is? Very, very well worn, very used. If you guys check out my channel, I use this quite a bit for my weekly readings. Like, it's very 70s. I love the coloring. I love the imagery. I like that they're kind of close up. Yeah, I just love everything about this. This deck in particular has very special meaning to me because it was actually gifted to me for a birthday by a friend of mine. So Tom, if you're watching, thank you so much. I use it all the time. Yeah, so I believe it was my 39th birthday. I was gifted this. My friend Tom owns a metaphysical shop back in Canada. And yeah, this was gonna be my birthday gift to myself. And he's like, no, it's for me. And it's very special. It was a deck I wanted for a very long time. And he happened to have it in his shop, and then it was gifted, and it just makes it that much more special, you know? So when I use it, I always think of Tom and his shop, and I smile. So, and it's always with my beautiful piece of lapis here. Okay, so that was two. Number three. You know what? When I bought this deck, never in a million years did I think it would be on my top 10 can't live without decks, but here we are. It is the Everyday Witch Tarot. The backs are so fucking cute. I can't even. But I love the artwork. I love the way it reads. It's actually an excellent reader. If you guys have followed my channel for a while, you guys know that I bought this to do readings at a market for Halloween. I was like, you know what, we'll see how it goes. And, you know, I'll just use it to read for people around Halloween and for markets and stuff like that. Well, lo and behold, if this bitch isn't one of my ones I just always go to. I love the way it reads. It's a direct read, but it's also a softer read. Like it'll sugarcoat its blow. That sounded horrible. It'll sugarcoat its message. It'll be very direct, but it's like, but it's okay. You know, like it's a sweet read, but yet it's direct, you know? So there we go. Definitely had to have the Everyday Witch on there. I pull it year round and it's wonderful. So I don't know what I would do without it. So naturally, here it is. Okay. Next up, we have the Light Seer's Tarot. And you know, when I first got this deck, I wasn't sure about it. I wasn't sure I liked the cardstock. It was a bit stiff when I first got it. As you can see, I've broken it in. Because it wouldn't quite shuffle like that when I first got it. And it's, I edged it, you know, like it was my way of bonding with it, you know? So I edged the deck and I like the way it turned out. And the imagery is very colorful. You guys have seen this deck 1,000,001 times, I'm sure. It's just, I like the imagery. It's different. I like the interpretations of some of the cards. It's different. Oh my God, can we look how gorgeous that Queen of Pentacles is? Like, she's just stunning. And yeah, it's a great reader. It's direct, it's clear. And you can use it for all kinds of readings, like relationship readings. It's good for everyday readings. Like I really like it. I would really miss it if it left my collection. I love to use it in the spring and summertime, but lately I've been reaching for it all the time. So definitely one I could not go without. Okay. So the last tarot on this deck, because I broke it up. I was like, okay, 10 decks, I'll 5 tarot and 5 oracle. That's how I decided to break it up. And it wasn't that hard, which surprises me. So anyway, my last tarot deck is the Mermaid Tarot. Again, this is going to be, this deck is really special, okay? This is another one where it was a deck I was eyeing for a long time, and it was gifted to me by a good friend. This one was for my 40th birthday. So, yeah, I was curious about it. I'd been eyeing it for a while. I was like, oh, do I, don't I? And then she gifted it to me for my birthday this past summer. And I love it. I love it. I love the imagery. I love reading with the guidebook. The guidebook gives such different interpretations of things. Like, oh, I love this High Priestess. She's so cool. And again, I immediately picked it up, started playing with it. I edged the edging here in this green to match the back here. And okay, so Tom, who I talked about with the Morgan Greer. Now this doesn't look like much, but I believe it's a celestial quartz. and it's a very high frequency stone, and he gifted to me this year for my birthday. So this all lives together. It's just very special. I do not read for anyone but me with this deck. This is just for me. It's my own little special, you know, and this bag, this beautiful embroidered tarot bag I found on Etsy, and that was my gift to myself for my birthday. So I keep all three together. So it's absolutely stunning. I love the imagery. I like the way it reads. It always gives me just what I need. Sometimes not what I need, but I need, you know what I mean? How it kind of pisses you off sometimes. Yeah, one of those decks. So that's the end of the tarot section. Okay, so let's get into the oracle. So now this one, again, big surprise. This is the Oracle of the Unicorns. These backs are beautiful, by the way. I use it constantly. I use it in readings all the time. For others, for myself, for the collective. Like, it's perfect. It gives the name and a couple little key sentences underneath, and it's perfect. I like the imagery. There's different types of artwork, which normally irks me, but not in this deck. There does still seem to flow. I hate that they are so glossy. I wish they were, you know, matte, but that's okay. They are still absolutely I love this card. You see that? I love it. So yes, this is definitely one that I use so often, and it reads so fucking well that I couldn't do it. I wouldn't know what to do without it. So the Oracle of the Unicorns. Again, total surprise, but it's definitely one that I won't do. Next up we have, okay, so we're going to talk about a couple of decks. This is my personal that I read with all the time for myself. So we're going to talk about a couple of oracle decks that, again, they're just for me. I don't read for others with these decks. And I'm sorry that cut off. Anyway, so here we are. Next deck on my list, my next oracle deck, is the Alice the Wonderland Oracle by Lucy Cavendish and Jasmine Beckett Griffith. I love the messages in the guidebook. Lucy just hit it out of the park with this one. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really have a connection to Alice in Wonderland. I really don't. It's not one that, I didn't read the books. It was always on my one day I'll read the books, right? I did enjoy the Disney movie when I was a child, but other than that, like, I don't really have a connection to Alice. So I do have a few other, of Jasmine Beckett Griffith and Lucy Cavendish's decks, collaborations, and I do really enjoy them, but they were never, like, I couldn't live without them, you know? Even though I used them a lot, it was just like, no, you know, like, they wouldn't be in my top 10. Let's put it that way, okay? But I was watching Racine from Alvine. Oh shit, what's her channel? Alvine 514? Shit, sorry. Sorry if you're watching. I fucked it up. But she was doing a review on this and talking about how she uses this deck. Look at this little dragon, so cute. I love this one. I love the picture. And she, you know, kind of used it for shadow work and whatnot. So I was like, oh, I don't know. Well, and I hummed and I hawed. And then I purchased it. Kind of on a whim. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get it. So then I got it. And then I started using it. And I only use it for myself. This deck is the deck I go to when I need guidance, I need an answer, and I need it now. Because it just gives me the guidance that I need at the exact moment I need it. I don't have to think, I don't have to try and interpret. It's just, it's in your face. It's the answer that you need, whether you like it or not. It's a completely different story, but it's always the answer I need. And I can't not go without it. I've learned to, even though it calls me out a lot, I've really learned to appreciate this deck, and I have an excellent working relationship with this deck. I trust this deck, and it helps me with my own personal shadow work. It helps me to bring things to the surface that I need help uncovering. I can't, there's no way I will ever go without this deck in my collection. There's no way, no how. I love it that much. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Next up, we have, where did I put it? Jesus fuck. Okay. We have this deck. The Sacred Rebels Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Now, I have wanted this deck for a very long time. I've been intrigued by it. A friend of mine had it, she loved it, and you know, I like the artwork on it, but the borders. I looked at those cards and I fucking cringed. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I hate to admit that. But I couldn't stand the borders, and I knew I'd be too lazy to cut them off, and because if I fucked one up, which trust me, I would have, one would be crooked or they wouldn't sit straight or whatever, I know I would never reach for it because I'd be like, oh, I fucked it up, and it would irritate me too much. So I knew. I was like, I'll never use it. I'm not gonna get it. And then it recently came to my what's the word I'm looking for? Attention. That there is now a borderless edition. And you bet your ass I snagged this as soon as I found out. It took me a while to know about it, but when I did, oh yes, I bought it instantly. The artwork just pops, and it's so gorgeous. And the messages with this deck are so profound, so empowering. I feel seen. I feel held. I love everything about this deck. Oh my God, look at this card. I get chills looking at this card. It's so beautiful. And I use this deck, like I'll pull for myself, of course. I'll pull for a couple friends. But I mainly use this deck for my energy healing clients. I will do a session for them, and then I will pull a card. 80 to 90% it is from this deck, and the messages that come through always really coincide with what came up in their sessions. It's absolutely amazing. And it's like work, personal, it doesn't matter. It transcends both, and I cannot be without this deck. In fact, I'm gonna put this to the side before I put it away back in my work stuff, because I feel I need to pull a card for myself today with it. So, yes. So the next, okay, so you know what? The next deck I was going to talk about, you saw me take it out of the bag, was the Lantern Oracle. But you know what? I'm going to be that bitch. I'm going to change my mind last minute. This is an honorable mention. Okay, Lantern Oracle, honorable mention. But instead, I pull this one way more often, and oh God, it's gorgeous. So this is the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle by Kelly Sullivan Walden, artwork by Rizzulli, and it's gorgeous. There's not much to the guidebook, and yet it's very precise and succinct. So you have a message and the dream symbol associated to the message in the card, and then a mantra. So an affirmation or a mantra to use for your day-to-day when you pull this card. So first of all, these backs are beautiful. I love the artwork. I love the color. You have the number of the card, so you can look it up in here. We have ally in disguise, so you have the name of the card and then a sentence to go with it. So discover the hard to find blessing. And I use these all the time. Again, it's usually this or the Sacred Rebels that I pull. Me time, enjoy your own company. I love this card. That I pull for my clients. And always really, really perfect messages that come through. This artwork, I mean, oh, it's gorgeous. It shuffles well. The cardstock is like that. It's soft. It's almost rose petal-y, but they're matte and they shuffle gorgeous. And again, this is another one that I pull for my clients all the time, my energy healing clients, not my reading clients, my energy healing clients. And I'll pull for myself. It's, oh God, it's beautiful. And you know what's funny? It's a story of how this deck came into my life. Well, I ordered it, but I mean how I knew it existed, because I'd never heard of it before. I had never heard of the Hero's Journey before. And then randomly, I watched one of Lisa Papez, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Lisa Papez's video, Lisa from Supportive Tarot. And she was talking about a couple decks that she had been working with that week. And so this was just a little mention. Like, she didn't go really that deep into it or anything, but she kind of showed a couple cards and, you know, talked about her experience with it. And I was like, wait, what? What's that deck? And I tried looking up some walkthroughs, and there was a couple on YouTube, but let's be honest, they weren't great. I didn't quite get what I was hoping for from the walkthroughs, and I was just like, well, I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to order it, you know, because that's how I roll. So I did, and I'm glad I did, because I pull from it all the time. Work, personal, doesn't matter. It's just like the Sacred Rebels that way. I will not go without it. I'm so glad I came across it on Lisa's channel, so I know about it. And yes, oh my God, yes, I love it. Last but not least, let's number 10. And number 10 is the Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Fuck, I love this deck, you guys. Now, anyone who knows me knows I'm a Halloween freak. I got married on Halloween. You know, it's a big part of my life. So this, I want to say this was one of the first oracles I ever got. I don't remember my very first oracle, but this is pretty close to the top. Now, this deck is very special to me. Not just because of the Halloween theme, which of course, it reads excellent. It always gives me messages that I need, that my clients need. This is one that I work, you know, with clients for. But the reason this deck is so near and dear to my heart is because this is the deck that my mediumship abilities came through. This is the deck that I used and the spirits would talk to me. I could hear them. And they helped me give messages. And when I first started, it was only ever when I pulled this deck, and it started with my personal ancestors came through. And then others came through. And at first I was like, what the fuck is going on? This is really weird. And the more I worked with it, the more I worked with the deck, the more the spirits worked with me, the easier it got. And it's just, now of course I can talk to the spirits without this deck, and you know, that's fine, but it was how they eased me into it. And it's so beautiful. I love the imagery, like I love the artwork. And I just, because of the mediumship and how they chose to come through to me, I love this deck. It has that personal meaning, right? So I will not go without it. It of course was in my top 10. No way it couldn't be. So yeah, there you have it, the Halloween Oracle. So ladies and gents, that is my top 10. My top 5 tarot and my top 5 oracle. And yeah, as you've noticed, quite a few have very deep personal meanings. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Are any of these on your list? Do you use any of these, or do you think I'm nuts? Let me know either way. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks to Katie for the tag, and we will talk to you very soon on the next video. Bye.